You're listening to the Ranger Football Podcast, brought to you by Southern Trading and Pawn and the Slab in Roland.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Ranger Football Podcast. Today is Tuesday, October 10th, all day long, I believe. That's what they're telling me anyway. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we have a few things to talk about today. Now, first of all, the high school team is coming off of a really big 45-7 win against Heavener. Some of you know that Heavener was our only win last season. But we got our first win of the season this year on Spyro in an away game. So now our second win of the season comes against Heavener. And we've got plenty of time for more wins. We play Idabel coming up in a couple of weeks. We've got a bye week for the high school. So we're going to kind of put the high school guys on the back burner. And we're going to talk a little bit today about Roland Youth League Football. We've got one group of kids is finished for the season. We're going to talk a lot about them. One group of kids is playing this week, and we will have information on where their game is located, what time, and another group of kids is going to be playing next week. So, if you're listening right now, we're live on Spreaker.com. You can also subscribe to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Stitcher Radio, and iHeartRadio, as always. And if you're on Facebook, go up to your search bar, type in Ranger Podcast Network. That is the official Facebook page of the show. Go ahead and like the page. Also, you could type in Roland Youth League Football and like that page. There's a lot of good information on the Roland Youth League Football page. I would recommend going there if you have a child or a grandchild or a little brother or little sister playing Roland Youth League Football or a cheerleader. Go to that page. You can like it up. Also, check out RYL Cheer. There's a lot of information on there, too. That they've got the dance coming up this weekend. We'll mention that here in just a couple of minutes. But first things first, the Ranger Football Podcast app on Google Play is sponsored by Southern Trading and Pawn, located at 4621 Towson Avenue. It's right on the corner of Towson and Phoenix and Fort Smith. So stop by and see Vernon and the crew for all your trading and pawn needs. And if you have any questions, call 479-434-4830. The Ranger Football Podcast app on iTunes on your Apple App Store is sponsored by the Slab in Roland. That's located at 104 South Roland Road. I need to make my way there this week to get my blue and gold sausage. The Slab is the home of the best barbecue in the entire River Valley. So stop by 104 South Roland Road. They're open 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday. And the Slab trailer is also open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Wednesday through Friday. How about that? Catering is also available by request. So for questions or to place your orders today, call 918-503-6531. We're also brought to you by Mantees Casual Wear, focused on the adolescent male of all ages, and by Mayrays for casual wear with a more feminine touch. That's for the ladies. Custom orders are welcome. You can always follow both lines on Facebook or simply go to man-tees.com and always use the promo code Rangers for 20% off your orders. Last but not least, we're brought to you by the Center Street Parlor, located at 1731 West Center Street in Greenwood, Arkansas. They're open Tuesday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to whenever they finish. For more information or to schedule an appointment for your next tattoo, call Fernie or Isaac at 479-252-6274. Also, I think today it's going to be a little bit cooler outside. I think the highs are only like maybe in the low 70s, but by the end of the week, we've got the lovely high temperatures coming back. So we're seeing a big fluctuation here. The temperatures will be great by the weekend, but I'm saying that to say this. If you need your heating and air conditioning service, call Lewis Heating and Air Conditioning. at 479-629-0560, or you can visit their Facebook page at A. Lewis HVAC. Just go to Facebook, look that up. Excuse me. Or type in Lewis Heating and Air Conditioning. It's always about midday my throat starts giving me problems. And I think what I need to do, well, no, I just changed my filter in my unit here. So who knows? I don't know. It may be the allergies. I think everybody here is getting kind of messed up by the stuff in the air and the temperature changes. And we've seen a couple of cool temperatures, and we've seen them warm back up, and we've seen it get stinking hot. We've seen it get a little bit chilly. And so it's going to be doing a little bit more of that. I think this morning the high was like the low, was like 48, which is crazy. I mean, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for fall weather. I'm pretty sure everybody else is too. But if you need help with your heating and air conditioning, call Lewis Heating and Air Conditioning. Visit their Facebook page at A. Lewis HVAC or call 479-629-0560. So, as I mentioned earlier, the high school team is coming off a big 45-7 win. We played Heavener, and Heavener's boys played great. I know the score doesn't reflect it, but they've only got about, there's 11 people out there on the field, and they only had maybe 3 or 4 other kids standing on the sideline. So they don't have a very big football team. I'm going to say maybe 15 or 16 people total. There may have been some people we didn't see. I don't know. But if we didn't see them, that means they they weren't at the game for some reason. Sorry about all that. But Heavener played great. They fought hard. I understand they only scored one time. But they gave it all they had. I mean, they had a kid who was running the ball pretty much all night, and you could tell these guys were getting tired. They've got to play both ways all the time. But the Roland offense really stepped up. I think we scored 15 points in the first quarter. We scored 12 in the second, 12 in the third, and I believe 6 in the fourth quarter. And we saw some guys. We saw Cole Davis go in at quarterback. We saw some other guys. Colin Tuck caught a pass. He had a 7-yard reception. And so, we're starting to see some freshmen and sophomores getting to step up in these football games, which is a great thing because, like I've said before, we're a really young team. We've got a lot of young players. And so the more we see these kids, the better off we're going to be, the more well-equipped we'll be when we, need to put them in at a later date and time. So now the business at hand, what we really want to hit home with today. We had round 1 of our Youth League Football playoffs this past weekend at Ranger Stadium. A ton of people showed up for this, and I was pleased with the turnout. It could always be better. We always want to see more people there, but we've got another chance for that. So just kind of browsing through Roland Youth League Football's Facebook page, round 1 of the playoffs is in the books. Unfortunately, our first and second grade boys are finished for the year after an 18-13 loss to Atoka, but they played tough until the end. Our third and fourth grade boys cruised to round 2 with a 26-6 win in round 1 over Quinton. Now, our undefeated fifth and sixth grade boys crushed Tallahena 42-14, and they're going to be off this week. We do have information on their next game, which will be Saturday, October 21st at 7 p.m. We'll talk about that here in just a second. And the third and fourth graders are going to play. Where did that status go? Right here. The third and fourth graders. Look, I'm just going to break it down because we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the first and second grade here in just a minute. Since they're done for the season, we're going to mention them by name. We're going to talk about their names and numbers and give these boys the credit they deserve because they played great all season. We honestly, nobody expected to see them have to turn in their equipment after the first round of the playoffs or at the first round of the playoffs. So, it was a little bit of a struggle. It was a tough loss. There was an injury. We'll talk about that here in just a second that turned out to be not nearly as bad as we thought it was. And so the third and fourth grade boys, they're going to be traveling to Tallahena on Saturday the 14th. The game will kick off at 11 a.m. And, so Tallahana's not that big of a drive. Head south. It is a little bit of a drive, but it's not terrible. It's not like here in a couple of weeks when the high school team has to go to Idabel. That's leave on a Thursday, come back on a Saturday. But, no, it doesn't take that long. But Tallahana's not that bad of a drive, so for all the Youth League football fans out there, we've got a great opportunity to get this thing going and support our boys and our cheerleaders who are going to be out there. So, make the short trip to Tallahassee if you have time. I understand it's a weekend. Some people are going to want to watch college football, but our boys are really dependent on us. So make sure you travel down to Tallahassee. 11 a.m. is kickoff time. As for our 5th and 6th grade team, semi-final playoff action featuring the undefeated 7-0 5th and 6th grade Rangers. This is to be determined. Their opponent is to be determined. If you haven't had a chance to catch these boys play, you're missing one heck of a show. Be sure to come cheer these young men on as they punch their ticket to the finals. And, we're expecting nothing less than a complete championship out of these guys. I haven't seen Tallahassee play as far as the 3rd and 4th grade goes, so I don't know what their semifinal game is going to look like. But if our 3rd and 4th grade team plays like they did on this past Saturday, they're going to have absolutely no problem getting to exactly where they want to go. They're going to make it to a championship if they can keep that type of play up. We saw big plays by Demarion West and DJ Massey, and there were kids everywhere all over that field. It just seemed like every time I turned around, our boys were running end zone to end zone. And so the 5th and 6th grade, let me go ahead and click on this. Our league director, Anthony DeWitt, he has a Facebook event created for this. Saturday, October 21st, 7 p.m. So it's going to be a night game. It's going to be Saturday night. I don't know if we'll get the lights on. I'm sure we'll get the lights on at some point. I'm sure we'll turn them on just because that's how those boys want to play. But we will make sure we do that. Also, while I'm scrolling down here, I know I touched on this a couple of weeks ago. I want to mention it again. Roland Youth League Football made another gigantic donation to the Roland Quarterback Club, to the high school football program, after our successful fundraising season and after homecoming. So Roland Youth League Football has made a $6,000 donation to our high school football program, to the Roland Quarterback Club. So that's huge. I don't know if everybody has seen that on Facebook. I'm not going to just keep going without mentioning all the hard work that everybody went through. Tanya Price, our cheer coordinator, our director, football director, Anthony DeWitt. I might have done a couple of things in there to help out a little bit. I don't know. But I certainly am glad to be a part of this because we're doing things unprecedented, things that Youth League football has never done before, and it's only going to get a lot bigger from here. So if you talk to Tanya, anybody listening, if you talk to Tanya or Anthony DeWitt this weekend, just tell them thank you for all their hard work that they put in. And there's so many more people, I can't even start to name them all. I would have to get with each director and get a list of people to name off, but it's phenomenal. It's amazing how much money we've raised and donated to the high school football players or to their program. So semifinal playoff action is going to be Saturday, October 21st, 7 p.m. That will be at Ranger Stadium right here in beautiful, sunny Roland, Oklahoma. Of course, it'll be about sunset by the time we get these games off. So there's your information on the 3rd and 4th grade, and if you can tell, I am doing this at a very quick pace because this is going to be a short episode of the Ranger Football Podcast today. We've got a ton of things to do. There's a lot of stuff to get prepared for. On the other front, as most of you know, Dennis McCaslin and myself, we broadcast the Roland High School football games on Inside Fort Smith and OklahomaSports.com on Friday nights. We've got some big news coming up on that front as well, and there's a lot of things that I'm working on in the next couple of days. Well, I don't want to give anything away. We're just ironing out some good creases, really, really good ones. So that's why we're keeping a quick pace, and the fact that I want to get to our 1st and 2nd grade boys. As I mentioned just a minute ago, our first and second grade boys, they came out short end of the stick, 18-13. We lost our game this past weekend, but all the boys played great. We had an injury scare there toward the end of the game, and Teron Taylor, for those of you who have not seen number 88 run the ball, this kid is loaded with talent. I mean, he's one of those kids, you see him in first grade, second grade, and you start thinking, I hope he can stay healthy all the way through school. Nobody wants to see these injuries, and I'm glad that his didn't turn. When a nurse or somebody rushed out to the field when he went down, he took a hard hit, he went down, and a nurse rushed out to the field, and I mean, she was booking it. So I started thinking she saw something that we didn't see. And so when she walked Teron Taylor off the field, at first I didn't know it was him. I thought it was Eli France. I don't know why I saw an 88 and thought it was a number 5. I think one of the 8s was blocked, and then a little bit of the other 8 looked like a 5. I don't know. So I thought Eli was hurt. And so we get to the last drive of the game, and we're trying to come back and win this ball game, and we're missing Teron Taylor. And for those of you who know, you don't want to be shooting down the field on a possible game-winning drive, and you don't want to be missing number 88. Teron Taylor, you don't want that kid to be on the sideline. But at that point, Teron Taylor was on his way to the hospital. So that was not good. And I didn't find out till later, but we're on this final drive, and I'm thinking, why are they not giving Teron Taylor the football? Like, why is he not running this football? There are people, it doesn't matter what age group, there are people who you trust with like last Sunday against the Cowboys. We saw Aaron Rodgers and the Packers come back on a game-winning drive. If there's a minute 13 left in the ball game and you're down, you want the ball in the hands of Aaron Rodgers. For our first and second grade team, when we're down and we're on a game-winning drive, we want our football in the hands of Teron Taylor. He's got a ton of talent. He's a talented kid, and it seems like he always knows what to do with the football. He listens to his coaches. The kid's got it. He's got it. And so I didn't see Teron, and I thought, this is not good. What's going on? And then finally somebody said he's the one who got rushed off the field and sent to the hospital. Now, it looked to me like whoever got rushed off the field had a broken wrist, a broken arm. It just looked a little weird. I don't know if it was the way he was holding it or not. Luckily, I talked to Lucinda. I talked to Teron's mom, and she said that it was not as bad as we thought it was. It's just a good bruise. Well, I don't know if anything's a good bruise, unless we're talking about bananas, getting ready for a little banana nut bread. That's the only time you want something bruised. But it just turned out to be a deep bruise. It's not anything. It's not a break. It's not a fracture. It's not anything like that. So we really lucked out with that. I know everybody was pulling for him. Even though the season's over, you still don't want the kid injured. Nobody wants a kid to be in a cast. School just started here a couple months ago, and they've got the whole rest of the year ahead of them. And so Teron Taylor's in the clear. So what we're going to do is, first of all, I personally, and on behalf of our cheer director, Tanya Price, and our youth league football director, Anthony DeWitt, I want to say thank you to all the parents who have spent their time taking these kids to practice and to ball games, and moms, dads washing uniforms, making sure cleats are tied, making sure they have mouthpieces. Every single thing, every little detail that you guys put into this, parents, you put into this, came off without a hitch. And we more than appreciate everything you've done. The fundraising, for homecoming, the ticket selling, the raffle tickets. The list goes on and on and on. And I wish that I had all this stuff written down in front of me, but I don't. But we want to thank the parents for everything you've done for Roland Youth League Football. As for the players, I'm going to list them off in order of jersey number. Number 1, Ryder Bean. We saw this kid. He ran like a ghost all year. And Ryder's one of those kids you're gonna want to keep your eyes on for a long time. We're going to see him. Hopefully, we'll see him at Roland School for a long time. If not, I don't know if he goes to school here. I just know he plays for us. He could go to Liberty or Muldrow or whatever. But hopefully we see him with Roland for a long time. Number 2, Tommy Gretschke. Number 5, Eli France. That's another name we've talked about before. What a kid there. Number 6, Dylan Brentley. Number 10, Sebastian Valero. Number 12, Trenton Sutherland. Number 14, Noah Elliott. Number 22, Nate Ball. Number 20. Number 20, Nate Ball. Number 21, Peyton Sargent. Number 22, Gerald Crossno. Number 24, Coleman Satterfield. Number 42, Trevor Tankersley. Number 50, Colton Jensen. Number 55, Ronnie Dawes. Number 58, Phoenix Miller. Number 65, Dylan Lowe. Number 66, Austin Nolan. Number 75, Caden Davidson. Number 78, Lance Patterson. Number 81, Braden Rowe. Number 82, Connor Clement. And, of course, number 88, leading the pack, Teron Taylor. So those are our first and second grade boys who we want to recognize. And boys, if you're listening as well, I don't know how many. I'm getting surprised these days at how many younger kids have, phones and Wii Pods and things like that. So who knows? They may have the app. So if you guys are listening, or if your parents are having you listen, we are super proud of you guys for playing your hearts out all season. And don't get discouraged about a first-round playoff loss. It's not the end of the road by any means. Y'all are in first and second grade. There's so much more football to be played before you guys are finished. So you may be done for the year, but that's all it is. You're just done for the year. That's it. We're going to come back next year, bigger, stronger, faster. It's going to be a whole lot better. And from what I understand at this point, Marcus Dawes, big thanks to Marcus. For those of you who have listened to this show before, I coached Marcus when he was in elementary, only it was elementary basketball. But Marcus was always a good kid, and now he has turned into someone who works well with these kids. He's got 4 kids of his own. He's a great father, and Marcus works hard. So thanks, Marcus, for everything you've done for these kids, and to all the dads who help. I don't have a lot of people's names on paper, but I know there are a lot of people who go out there and they volunteer, and so we really appreciate that as well. But from what I understand, Marcus is going to be back with the first and second grade team again next year if all goes according to plan. I don't know. That's not a definite yet, but we'll get more information on that as the story develops. But if that's the case, the first and second grade is poised, not just to go straight back to the playoffs, but, we can expect some wins out of the playoffs next season. So I know everybody's going to be optimistic about that, and it's just exciting. It's just every year, obviously, is a new year, and you just never know what's going to happen. So that's where we're at with that. That's really I think there's one more thing to mention. Let me look at my notes here. I need to pull the page back. Oh, yes, the dance. Who all is going to the dance? From the Roland Youth League Football page, it says, hey, guys, don't forget about the dance this weekend. We're going to have a blast. Come in costume or come as you are. Please RSVP and let us know you are coming. And I'm thinking that message came from our cheer director, Tanya Price. So, but here are the details. Roland Youth League 2017 dance will be held October 14th from 6 to 8 at Liberty Cafeteria. I'm assuming that's going to be in the PM. Roland Youth League Football and cheerleaders are all welcome. They're all allowed to have a date, only one. I like how they put that in there. I don't know about the rest of you. When I was in first grade, I had a ton of girlfriends. And so only one date, but we didn't have dances like this. So one date per kid who does not participate in youth league, kindergarten through sixth grade only. However, there will be a $5 charge. So if it is a date who does not participate in Roland Youth League activities, whether it's football or cheerleading, kindergarten through sixth grade only, there will be a $5 charge for that date. So kids, put in a little overtime at your jobs this weekend. That way, I'm sure the parents will help. That's a joke. The below information for Roland Youth League member and date will need to be filled out to put on the list. Date must be on list prior to the night of the dance. So don't put somebody else's name and then show up with a different kid. The dance is a Halloween theme. Costumes are more than welcome, but not a must. Concession will be available to purchase snacks during the dance. Youth League members, please turn in your form if you're participating in the dance so we can get a head count. All notes need to be turned in by October 9th. Okay, so I'm in the past on this. All the notes should have already been turned in yesterday. But that's the skinny on the whole deal. So I guess going back up to the top, where I should have left off is that the dance is going to be this weekend on the 14th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Liberty Cafeteria. So for everybody who is going to enjoy the Roland Youth League dance, I don't know who's chaperoning. I don't know who's going. We're going to leave that up to everybody else. I'm going to have to miss it. So now, going back to my other notes here, like I said, it's going to be a quick podcast. I understand that we are almost at the exact same time that we do the other shows, but we had to get some information about our first and second grade team out there, and then, of course, our other playoff games and the dance. So, a big thanks to Southern Trading and Pawn at the corner of Towson, Phoenix, and Fort Smith. Call 479-434-4830 for all your trading and pawn needs. They have sponsored our app on the Google Play Store. If you have an Android device, you can go to your Google Play. You can type in Ranger Football Podcast, and you can download the app anytime, any place, anywhere. Preferably if you have data, kids. If you're, don't be burning up your data plan. If you're on Wi-Fi, go ahead and download it. Also, our app on iTunes on our Apple App Store is sponsored by the Slab in Roland, 104 South Roland Road. Give them a call at 918-503-6531 if you need anything catered. If you have any events coming up, as I mentioned, I need to keep reminding myself that I have got to get up there this week and get my blue and gold sausage. Also, Mantees Casual Wear and May Rays for the ladies. You can follow them on Facebook or go to man-tees.com, and by the Center Street Parlor out in Greenwood. Call 479-252-6274. So for those of you going to the third and fourth grade game this week, have a safe drive. And until next time, as always, thank you for listening to the Ranger Football Podcast.
You're listening to the Ranger Football Podcast, brought to you by Southern Trading and Pawn and the Slab in Roland.
Yeah!